Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Let me share with you a few observations and updates regarding the crypto markets broadly speaking, and certainly XRP specific stuff. In fact, and I'll cover this towards the beginning part of the video, but the number of new XRP accounts being created over the last couple months has increased dramatically. Also want to note that despite the fact that we've had a precipitous drop on Sunday in crypto markets led by Bitcoin, despite this being the case, there's broad expectation that XRP is absolutely going to rally, perhaps this year, to new 2023 highs. There's an article on the screen indicating as much, that there is this expectation. I want to talk about that a little bit. But then there's also this, and it's like, I see an article like this, and I'm just sitting here thinking, like, this is why we cannot have nice things. It's from the Motley Fool. If you invested $1,000 in Ripple XRP 3 years ago, this is how much you'd have now. Face palm, audible sigh. How is it that we have Ripple and XRP still being conflated in 2023 and by an outlet that is supposedly reputable? What is going on here? But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this video, XRP is 61 cents, Bitcoin down to 41,196 bucks. So a little bit worse than 24 hours ago, but not that much, down by a little over 1% on both fronts. Asset class market cap at $1.56 trillion, and the crypto fear and greed index 65 out of 100. So it's taken a little bit of a beating, but people are still feeling greedy. You greedy SOBs out there. And actually, to kind of paint the picture of what's been happening with XRP, because look, it's still the case that people have been are getting, not everybody, and I don't even think it's most people, but it's noticeable. There are a lot of people that are a bit fatigued when it comes to XRP price action. And it may feel like that's a lot more people than it actually is, but that's because the fatigued people, I think that they voice their perspective a lot more than the rest of us who aren't feeling fatigued. That's my suspicion anyway. But look at what has been happening. I mean, it's kind of hard to see because this is over a somewhat shorter time period, but what you're looking at the chart in the middle of your screen here, is the number of new XRP accounts activated. Since, and I arbitrarily picked a time, well, somewhat arbitrarily, because we've been seeing, there's a reason I picked it, sort of, but we've been seeing a big move up in crypto, broadly speaking, for the last couple months, roughly. So I picked a spot right in the middle of October, right about when that was starting to happen. And I just wanted to note that, because it's just totally a metric that was worth tracking. The number of new XRP accounts has been trending up. And if you look closely, you can see that despite outlier instances to the upside and a little bit, not really tremendous outliers to the negative, actually. But it's about doubled. So, for instance, if you look at October 15th, there were 1,135 new XRP accounts created. Now go to yesterday, December 12th, the last full day that we have, 2,151 new accounts created. And you can, if you got eyeballs, you can see that the trend has been up for 2 months, right? That's about double. That's about double the number of accounts. And there haven't been big moves to the downside, but there have been big moves to the upside. There's 3 that catch my attention. Look at November 6th, 2,593 accounts created. November 22nd, 3,277 accounts created. And then there's this, December 8th, 3,524 accounts. Look, I'm just bringing this up because there's no one single metric to look at to come to a conclusion of what's going to happen with XRP, but I'm just pointing, this is incredibly healthy. Look at what price action has been doing, for XRP. Here, I'll pull up a 90-day chart because that's simple and close enough here. So price action, it's very clear that XRP is moving in tandem with the rest of the market, but there are other indicators that are very positive and heating up. What do you think is going to happen when we do see Bitcoin have another leg up? What do you think is ultimately going to happen when we hit market euphoria? What I'm thinking of, it's pretty clear. There are people now that are continuing to position themselves, and eventually when this thing goes, it's really going to go. That's very clear. There's way more people jumping into XRP. Couldn't be more obvious. And so, yes, in the short term, I see people are fatigued, but I'm just like, I'm not. I mean, you do you, girl, but I'm gonna do me. And I am not the least bit fazed by any of this, frankly. Here's a post from Credible Crypto, and he put out this video, and I'm just gonna share, there are just a couple points I was gonna make on this, just to note, because this is the most recent thing from yesterday, and he's traveling right now. But he still firmly believes that we're not likely to go below $40,000 for Bitcoin. He doesn't think that's probable anyway. Not that it's impossible, but he doesn't think that's what's most probable by a good bit. And if you want the technical analysis reasons, go check out his video. It's on social media platform X. But he noted that when this thing rips, his current anticipation is that we're not going to be stopping at $50,000. He thinks we're going to blaze through that level up to about $60,000 for Bitcoin. Now, what do you think that's going to do for everything else? And so that's why, like, I look at people. There are some people that are concerned, and it's not most people. People are still feeling greedy out there, but there are some people feeling like this, and it's like, my gosh, this is just par for the course. This is what it is to be in crypto. I've been watching this. I've been in these moments before. I've been in crypto over 6 years now. There's nothing weird about this. XRP is doing the stuff we should hope and expect it to do. That it really is. And I don't see any sort of logical reason to be fearful at this moment. I'm excited for this moment. Because finally, it looks like we're going to be entering euphoria at some point in the not too distant future. We've never been closer as XRP holders, and XRP has legal clarity, which it didn't 2 years ago. You know, back in 2021, when we had the all-time high for Bitcoin, yeah, XRP correlated, but it didn't hit a new all-time high. It was shackled because of this stupid-ass SEC lawsuit. Now, we don't have that. So when it runs, yes, we're really going to see it. And if this time it doesn't, then I'd be concerned. I'd start to wonder, in the absence of new evidence, I'd be sitting there wondering, what the hell's wrong with XRP? But we're not in that moment. Everything that's happened at this point makes a ton of sense. Then there was this post from the blockchain backer. He was just given an update on the CPI Consumer Price Index. He noted that numbers had been released today for November. And he wrote that month over month, previous 0%, what was expected was 0%, and actual was 0.1% increase. And then we're talking about the inflation rate here. So still not that far off from what was expected. And then year over year, it's pretty much spot on. He noted that what was expected was 3.1%, and the actual was 3.1%. And so as a result, the thing that's most important as far as I'm concerned is how is the Fed going to respond? And the broad expectation at this point is that they're not going to be decreasing interest rates. They're not going to engage in quantitative easing quite yet. And historically, when we do see a decrease in interest rates, that has indicated bad times ahead. And why? Because the Fed's being reactionary. When they're starting to do that, it's to spur more economic activity. And it's in response to other metrics they're looking at indicating, hey, the economy looks like garbage. So by the time they see it and they're doing stuff, that's why. It's not that the cuts themselves are the problem. It's that they're reacting to other metrics and other real world instances that are bad. That's what it is. And so there's broad expectation. We're not going to be seeing this for, a cut. And there's no guarantee, but it could be over half a year from now. And I sure as hell hope that's the case, because when that happens, I'm going to be looking more closely and I will be a little bit alarmed there. But we're not seeing that. And you know what? The stock market's broadly behaving right now. Directionally, it's doing what it should do. The blockchain backer has been going into great depth on this stuff. You should check out his channel if you're not. I'm sure a lot of you are. There's a lot of crossover between our audiences. But like all signs point to yes. Like this is good. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this 2 thumbs up. That's what I'm saying, man. And there was this also from chart analyst Will Clemente. The fact that over 7... I should have said on-chain analyst Will Clemente. He's not like a TA guy. But he says the fact that over 70% of Bitcoin supply hasn't moved in at least a year is wild as a standalone stat. It's even more wild when considering the context that a year ago was right after FTX went down and Bitcoin has gone up nearly 3x since. And I gotta admit, that's pretty damn astonishing. I mean, look at where we are. That's why this is what happens, though. You should expect this. It's a natural progression. As you go from market cycle to market cycle, you hit a new plateau each time. And so, yes, it's incredibly volatile, but there's higher highs and then higher lows ultimately, even if you're talking over a very long time, over the span of a decade. And that's why, as I noted in a video the other day, like we've never had an instance where XRP is about to enter with the rest of the crypto market into the euphoria stage of things while it's at this price level. It is at a new plateau. It clearly is, very obviously. When the market was heating up years ago, XRP was at about 20-something cents, and then it started running. That was in 2020. It was at 20-something cents. Now we're starting here. I mean, there's no signs it's going to go back into 20 cents anytime soon unless the whole world collapses. So instead of it starting at a weaker position of 20 something cents, it's over 60 cents right now. And yes, it's way lower than it otherwise would have been if the SEC hasn't shown it. Yes, absolutely. We're going to agree on that all day. But it's still higher. And when this thing goes, my God, it's directionally doing the right thing. And that's why I'm saying, like, it doesn't make logical sense to have this fatigue over the price action that's happening in the short term. I'm just observing that. That is what's happening in our community. I just don't think it makes logical sense. Everything looks fantastic. If there were things to be concerned about, I'd just be telling you. In fact, when the market does get too hot, which will inevitably happen, I will acknowledge that. And when I sell, I'll acknowledge that too. But man, I have no fears right now. Now, on this from the Motley Fool, I'm going to try and be a little bit brief on this, but look, here's the headline again. If you invested $1,000 in Ripple XRP 3 years ago, this is how much you'd have now. Yeah, so look, I don't even feel like the need to read the thing, but I did kind of want to rip on it a bit because it's stupid. Like, again, this is an outlet very well known, considered to be reputable. The Motley Fool, like this is a name that people know. Mainstream media here, and they're talking about the crypto. Sometimes it's this case when the mainstream media starts talking about crypto. I'm like, oh, that's cute. I can tell you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Conflating Ripple and XRP. I don't even know if it's an accident in this case, though. Maybe they're just complete fools. I get it, fools. But I hope it's not intentional. But you're talking about $1,000 getting put in. They're talking about, okay, so 3 years later, it's only up 18%, about $180. That's what they're reporting here. But again, this article is just irrelevant. It doesn't matter. I mean, you're arbitrarily picking a point in time. I mean, you could have picked, if you picked, for instance, October, and then you look 3 years over from October. Well, in October, I mean, here, I can check. Let's go to an all-time chart. October in 2020, what was the price of XRP? It's probably closer to 20-something cents before it started running, right? Yeah, here you go. Yeah, it's like, it jumped around a bit, so it could be 21, 25, 20 cents. Yeah, it's all over the place. So then you would have been up hundreds of percentage points. So it's just like by moving the goalpost by a couple months, you can paint whatever narrative you want to. But so that's one reason it's silly. But the second reason it's silly, it's because the SEC sued Ripple, which was tantamount to litigating against XRP holders. I mean, it had the same net result, effectively, right? It harmed all of us. Might that be the reason why? Yes. The Motley Fool, indeed. Who's writing these articles? Come on, man. This isn't... I mean, I guess if you're somebody that is uninformed and not in the world of crypto, you just read this and you're trying to learn, you might find it interesting. But the thing is, this isn't actually helping because there's no real good insight here. There isn't. Anyway, I just want to make fun of it because it makes me feel better. That's pretty much... This is stupid. S-T-O-O-P-I-D. Stupid. But like I said a few minutes ago, XRP, it is unshackled now. When this thing goes, it's really going to go, period. And if it doesn't, fine, then we're going to have to regroup and talk about it. We'll have a come to Jesus moment if necessary. But there are reasons that we haven't seen it. And there's a reason that it didn't go this summer when it had legal clarity. Yes, it jumped up. Price almost doubled in a matter of hours. But it didn't keep running because there's a requirement for XRP to run historically, which is Bitcoin must be going into new all-time highs. So if you were expecting an XRP new all-time high, well, again, from perspective of historical precedent, we shouldn't expect that. And it didn't happen. So that shouldn't be alarming either. But yes, now, if it doesn't go, yeah, fine. If it doesn't go now. I mean, in the absence of new information, and I don't know, I can't imagine what that would be. Yeah, I'd be concerned. But I think it's going. Like, why wouldn't it? The whole market moves in tandem. That's why I keep saying, like, there's a reason to be excited, not scared. This is fun. This is the best time to be in crypto. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because if anything I say are right, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.